So tell me why you think you'd be a better trader instead of a raider, Mr. Booney. Well, to be blunt, every time I'm topside I get fucked. Yesterday I took a trip to Buried and found a shredder in the hospital. Oh my god, there's a shredder in the hospital. Tried to kill it and got shot in the back. The last time I ran squad fill, my whole team left me to die. Every time I win a fight, there's someone waiting to kill me as I'm trying to recover from said fight. I even went to look for this new shotgun I've been hearing about, just to get destroyed from some new goddamn arc in the sky I've never seen before. Sounds like you're having a lot of trouble, Mr. Booney, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to diagnose you with rat syndrome.
Bruh.
Knock one?
If you kill me, you're gay.
Yo, come over here, bro. Look, I got a family.
Bro. Match.
Well. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is your old pal Oddnomad speaking. Most of you have most likely discovered the channel through Helldivers or Arcraiders. And since I experienced Arcraiders for the first time, I have been wanting to make this video. Today we're going to be talking about the magic that is Arcraiders and the secret sauce that it carries to keep us all engaged for as long as it has. Most of what I'm going to be covering you may already know, but despite that, I want you to enjoy the ride, maybe grab a snack so we can engage in conversation and just chop it up about this game we all love so much in the comments below. First, we will discuss what is Arcraiders. As described in the PlayStation Store, in Arcraiders, gameplay flows between the surface, ruled by lethal machines, and the vibrant underground society of Speranza. Craft, repair, and upgrade your gear in the safety of your own workshop before venturing topside to scavenge the remnants of a devastated yet beautiful world. Play solos or up to parties of 3, navigating the threat of arc machines and the unpredictable choices of fellow survivors. In the end, only you decide what kind of raider you are and how far you'll go to prevail and return with some juicy loot. It is a third-person PvPvE extraction shooter developed by Embark Studios for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. For those unfamiliar, Embark is the creator of the hit The Finals, another amazing shooter. The reason why these games feel the way they do and as clean and as polished as they do is due to the history of these developers. Some of the studio consists of former DICE employees known for the Battlefield series and the newer Star Wars Battlefront games. Think of Arcraiders as a BR with AI enemies instead of the last man standing winning. Multiple people can win by extracting. These styles of games tend to differ heavily from Battle Royale. This game is much more casual to its counterparts in Tarkov and the extraction mode in Delta Force and so on. One element that this game has to stand out from its competitors is its proximity chat. The moments created topside are beyond peak gaming experiences. Some people take it a little too far, but some people consider it to be reminiscent of the toxicity in old Call of Duty multiplayer lobbies back in the day. Some raiders are just sweethearts though, and just want to be nice and help the other raiders out. Some people will also be the exact opposite and will betray you and use your own kindness against you. The amount of people I have met and added because of this game is truly incredible. And to me, there's a sense of brotherhood with all the raiders in this game. And I say that because we're all on the same page, we're all trying to do the same thing, get loot and get out. Besides going into the game to fight other players or some robots, you have some goals that you can work toward to keep you playing and give yourself some sort of objectives. When you start the game, you'll be level 1 given 1 skill point to use for your 3-part skill tree: mobility, survival, and conditioning. With 75 points available, it is up to you to decide the kind of build you'd want to go for. Some skills are objectively more useful than others, and I keep seeing the same few skill trees from people, but it's all subjective. You have 7 workbenches needed to interact with the game's crafting system. One's for weapons, one's for augments, which are pretty much the backpacks in the game, one for heals, one for grenades, and one for utility, and so on. You will need to find the components to craft these workbenches, and then the components to upgrade them to a max of 3. To assist you in your quest for materials, you'll have a pet chicken named Scrappy. He's a passive income chicken who will build up your basic materials and seeds after every raid. As you are attempting to craft your workbenches, it's a good idea to check out the traders and get familiar with who sells what, and begin each of their quest lines as they give you rewards upon each completion. But most of the starter quests are a great way to interact with the in-game systems for the first time, as it gradually gives you harder things to do. For example, you'll be asked to repair an antenna to get a gun and some ammo. Later on, you'll be asked to kill a big robot for its components. The quests aren't game-changing, but some do offer blueprints for weapons you won't find anywhere else. Once you have invested enough time into the game, you will unlock the Trials leaderboard, which is essentially just the specific challenges for seasonal rewards and 3 random rewards, 1 for each star collected for the challenges. You will then unlock the Projects menu. Projects give you a to-do list of items to turn in to receive other and more valuable items, but the main project, dubbed the Expedition, is this game's version of a traditional extraction shooter server reset. This gives players a choice. If you would like to reset all your progress, you could get some permanent buffs, or you could choose to skip it entirely to just maintain your progress. Whereas other games, everyone's loot would be gone and everyone would be forced to start from square one. Now we gotta talk about the visual and sound design of this game. For some of you, everything I described may not be interesting or enticing enough to want to purchase the game, or it may just sound simply generic. There's so much more to the game than what I just mentioned, and one of those factors has to be the weight and the punch and the impact this game has. The sound of someone's shield breaking is just so crunchy. With no health bars, they had to add some sort of visual cues, so that's why when you break someone, it sounds like this.
Yeah, on the bridge right there. Hit him in the head.
Then when you shoot someone who has no shield, you see a whole lot of red. And their character will make a loud grunt noise, so you know they've been hit by whether if it's a grenade, a robot, or you. When someone dies, in lore, the raider will release a signal flare in hopes of being rescued. Unfortunately, it's just turned into a dinner bell for hungry-ass goopers like me. Then there's the lighting. I mean, the way the sun beams down through the windows, you can see the sun rays. It is incredible graphically alone. But this game has such good lighting that they decided to create a nighttime mode where at times you can't even see what's in front of you, let alone your own character at all. The sounds of a giant robot spotting you and beginning to shoot mortars at you is generally terrifying.
Do your thing, do your thing.
Oh!
Hold on. I'm gonna try to hit this shit. Hold on. Come this way. He can't hit this. Yeah, you can't hit this. You can't hit this, pussy. What, bitch? Oh shit, he hit me. Oh.
The sounds of a shredder.
Damn.
The sounds of these guns. The battery recharging your shield. The sound difference of you running on sand. The sound of rustling through bushes or running on a roof. It's all very distinct and very easy to pick up on and pay attention to. And with enough experience, you'll know what sound is what, and they'll become simply sound cues for good players to pay attention to know what's coming and what's coming toward them, whether if it's a player or a robot. This allows there to be a wider skill gap for those who wear headsets and genuinely listen to the game like it's real life for Tarkov, which adds to the way I was discussing earlier. The Arc and Arcraiders are quite a feat in gaming in my opinion. The AI in the machines are programmed to get smarter over time. Instead of using predetermined animations, the Arc use AI-trained locomotion to traverse the terrain, noted by Google. This enables realistic movements such as damaged robots still maneuvering toward the players even after they lose some limbs. The Arc units do not use scripted responses. They operate through intent-driven systems trained to hunt, suppress, and react to player tactics. If a player were to hide behind cover, the AI will adapt, changing positions to get a better angle on the player. Machines are not simply playing animation loops, they are simulation-based agents that react to physics, allowing for unpredictable combat encounters. This AI was developed by running thousands of simulations, rewarding the machines for correct actions such as navigating complex terrain or maintaining balance after taking some damage. There are 20 different types of Arc in the game, as the time of recording. If we are including everything possible, that is. So let's cover them, shall we? I'm going to try to go from smallest to biggest, so bear with me here. All this information was found in the in-game codex, and each addition to the codex will be added with each new robot you discover. First we have the ticks. These little six-legged spider creatures. They tend to lurk around dark areas, and they also tend to bunch up together and catch any unsuspecting raider. The codex describes ticks as the bane of anyone who values their face adjacent to personal space. It is a spider-like machine that leaps at raiders, mincing away any exposed skin. Their speculated purpose is to drive humans away from areas being used for resources, acting as a containment agent to create exclusion zones. Next are the pair of balls. The left ball is the pop, a simple white orb that will roll around lurking and listening for other players. When your presence has been sensed, they will start beeping loud and aggressively, and an aggressive red, and they will blow you up. The best way to avoid these are to simply shoot them since they aren't covered in any armor plating, and their whole body is a weak spot. And on another note, if you are able to explode the pop before it blows up itself, you will avoid taking the damage from said explosion. As stated in the game's codex, they are often found indoors, and their speculated purpose is thought to be clearing out rubble and blockages that may inhibit any Arc operations. The right ball is called the fireball. It is a fast-moving machine spotted rolling around indoor areas. It spews fire at any perceived threat in its vicinity, roasting anyone not made out of fire-resistant material. To use this flamethrower, the ball needs to open its armor plating, exposing a weak spot that trigger-happy raiders have been known to exploit. Next, we have the spotters, which are essentially the second pair of eyes on a bombardier. They search for players out of the sight of the machine so then it can snipe you with a mortar barrage. Next, we have the snitches. which are exactly what the name entails. They see some bad raiders and they go call mom and dad for help, mom and dad being the flying drones it can spawn in. It flies around with the light beam looking for raiders, and once it spots you, it'll begin to get aggressive as it turns yellow. Once it's fully aggroed, it will go a bright red. In a couple seconds, it will shine a bright beam in the sky, which signals something to send some arc from orbit to whomever the snitch may have spotted. Next, we have the 3 flying drones. The Wasp is a small thruster-powered drone, flying in tidy patrols with other Wasps and the occasional Hornet or Firefly. When engaged, they switch to an erratic flight pattern, making them a challenging target. They are equipped with light guns and seem to actively scan for potential threats, sometimes mistaking humanoid statues for raiders. Wasps are often observed patrolling the skies in predictable patterns, seemingly serving as the first line of security for ARC's probing and extracting operations. They can scan for any human activity that could interfere with their operations and seem drawn to areas with regular raider activity. The Hornet is a small flying drone equipped with protective armor on its front side. It sports an electric shock weapon that stuns and damages its targets. It's thought to be designed as an enhanced patrol unit, working with Wasps to neutralize immediate and potential threats to probing sites and other machines. Like the Wasp, damaging its thrusters inhibits its flying capabilities. However, since the front thrusters are covered in armor, it takes a steady hand and a skilled shot to reach them. The Firefly is a nastier relative to the standard Hornet. It trades its electric shock for a flamethrower capable of engulfing raiders in seconds. Heavy plating makes it just as difficult to bring down as its shocking sibling. The threat it poses up close is considerably worse. They sometimes join regular Hornets and Wasps on patrols. They often hang back until a raider is already engaged before swooping in to flush them for cover. Veterans have learned to pick them out early. The fuel tank gives them a slightly different flight profile. The flamethrower tank is also their weakness. A well-placed shot turns the machine into a brief but spectacular fireball. Next we have the Shredder. The description for this thing is beautiful. When this relentless lump of menace was first encountered at Stella Montis, it left behind a trail of downed raiders and it was dubbed the Shredder, by what few raiders managed to get back to safety, a name that wasn't so much clever as it was literally painful. The Comet is a spherical arc unit that resembles the Surveyor, a visual similarity that deceived many arc raiders. The Comet, however, seems to exist for one singular purpose: to get up close and detonate. Often found guarding heavy machines, the Comet serves as a brutal deterrent against raiders who attempt flanking tactics. When it acquires a target, it accelerates with alarming speed and triggers its self-destruct sequence once it's near enough to do guaranteed damage. It's a giant fireball with armor, or pop, damn it. Then we have the 2 turret variants, one that is a machine gun turret and the other a giant sniper turret called the Sentinel. Now we're going to get into the big boys. First we have the Leaper. The Leaper is an agile 4-legged brute often found stomping around open areas. It is equipped with a powerful shockwave pulse that hits anyone nearby after a couple seconds of being within its radius, and can leap at raiders across astonishing distances. Historically, most raiders have learned to avoid it altogether. Leapers are commonly found in high-risk reward areas, guarding valuable objects, gear, or patrolling alongside smaller, quicker enemies, thus creating layered threats that can be hard to deal with. The Rocketeer is a large, heavily armored long-range artillery machine. Dominating open spaces with its powerful missile launchers, it can target raiders from afar, creating hazardous zones that force raiders to stay on the move or seek cover. Like the Wasp and the Hornet, it sports thrusters to stay airborne. While these thrusters are technically weak spots, they are large and take significant amount of firepower to destroy. Though its devastating blasts have sent many and overly bold raiders to the clinic, increased firepower and clever tactics have allowed some to take these things down themselves. Next, after the Rocketeer, we have the newly added Vaporizer. The Vaporizer is a large airborne arc machine which quickly gained notoriety among raiders for its devastating lasers and volatile, unpredictable attack pattern. It was first observed along the arcraiders with its menacing glow, and it can be seen from a great distance. It is essentially a Rocketeer with laser attacks from the Queen. Next are going to be the 2 Walker tanks, the 2 Walker tank-like mechs. Covered in thick plating, the Bastion is a fortress on legs. While it may be slow, it absolutely dominates wherever it patrols with heavy Gatling gun fire, turning anyone who gets in its way into Swiss cheese. Based on radar observations of its behavior, the Bastion is believed to be deployed where the Ark detects potential resource deposits worth defending at all cost. It is much easier to try hampering the Bastion's movement by destroying the weak spots on its leg joints, which may also help in getting clear shots on its unplated back. The Bombardier is an opposing slugger, seemingly sharing a strong kinship with the Bastion, albeit with a distinct signature mayhem. It will try to flush raiders out of cover with their heavy mortar fire. Several theories exist as to how and why Arc deploys its bombardiers, though all agree that it is a lethal piece of machinery that has sent countless raiders to the infirmary. The bombardier is especially dangerous when cooperating with spotters, allowing it to shoot at raiders hiding in cover. The bombardier is equipped with strong face armor plating, though it is not as impenetrable as the bastions. The last two of the biggest arcs are the Queen and the Matriarch. The Queen is a massive six-legged beast often spotted guarding harvesters. With its imposing appearance, extremely powerful attacks, and strategic area control, the Queen is pure trouble in metal form. It is speculated that the Queen shares kinship with the First Wave's Baron, although it is much improved piece of machinery. Arc seems to use it to protect harvesters and fend off threats from the most valuable probing and resource extraction sites. But the Matriarch makes the Queen look friendly by comparison. This colossal terror dominates the battlefield with punishing barrages that impairs vision, cripples movement, and tears raiders apart. The versatility of the Matriarch is stunning. She is able to surprise even veteran raiders with her tactical capabilities, and that's also confirming that it's a woman. The Matriarch's reactor is one of the most sought-after trophies. Few raiders have managed to bring one back home, which isn't true anymore, because everyone's played the game for so long. These two robots are given their own map condition to face them. The whole purpose of them being on the map is to take them on and get their parts for the legendary weapons. The legendary weapons are energy weapons used to beat Arc and defeat the bigger Arc. They're very powerful, they're the rarest and most expensive equipment in the game. They're not the best against players, but they still hold their value, and they're not as easy to obtain as like a Stitcher, for example. These weapons are only obtainable from going out of your way to fight these big Arc, or steal them from players who are already fighting the Arc, of course. When it comes to rarity, there's a gray, green, blue, purple, then yellow system. The common legendary system we are all familiar with. This goes for everything. There are gray heals, which heal less than blue heals, blue guns, which are harder to obtain. When it comes to the weapons, though, I believe it's mostly subjective and is based on preference on which you use, as most weapons are able to compete with one another, gray to purple included. It just depends on whose hands they're in. Statistically speaking, though, the purple guns do have higher DPS. There are common materials that are the base of most items you will be crafting, and one component might be needed for another, and so on. With the augments I had mentioned earlier being your backpacks, depending on the rarity and the type of augment, your options being combat, tactical, or looting, there are variations of them which come with different bonuses as well as different amount of slots in your inventory and quick use slot menu. You can even find keys for locked rooms that have guaranteed higher chances of better loot. Usually it will consist of one weapon crate, a security breach, and however many searchables the room will possess. So when you open your map, you're going to see named locations, some with a yellow perimeter around them and some with red. Yellow means medium loot value, while red means high loot value. The named areas do consist of loot, but it's not guaranteed to have anything fancy, and less likely to have blueprints and less chances to find guns and things like that. ArcRaiders has implemented a controversial means of getting raiders together. There's a system called aggression-based matchmaking. The system separates players based on their behavior, pairing aggressive PvP-oriented players together and calmer PvE-focused players in separate lobbies. The system tracks engagement in player versus player combat, placing those who frequently shoot on sight into competitive hostile lobbies. In theory, it is a good system to keep the same kinds of players in games together, but in practice, players have developed a method to take advantage of the system. I won't tell you how because I want less people doing it, but if you're invested in this game at all, you already know what I am referring to. This creates two distinct player bases in the community, one side who is against PvP and those who are for it. Friendly lobbies to me are for gathering material, maybe fighting some Arc, meeting some new people, and having some fun moments topside. My experience with the game has taught me, though, that you can only be friendly to so many people. Being betrayed, lied to, taking advantage on while I was in bad situations, lied to by people who wanted to team up with me, led to me just killing everyone. I'm a PvP player first because that's where the fun in the game is for me. The combat scratches a particular itch for me that I can't quite put into words, but playing this game, getting the kills feels so satisfying, and it feels even better when you loot their body and is absolutely stacked. But of course, that risks throwing my stuff on the table, and there's other people who are afraid to use their equipment in fear of losing it. This is a term called gear fear. What's understandable is not wanting to lose your gear to someone camping the extract. This is a term called ratting. I actually wanted to speak on this term. The term rat is being overused and misused in this game like crazy, and it has been since launch. Someone taking advantage of their surroundings in a situation is not a rat. A rat is definitely someone who loads into the game with mines, walls, and everything else, immediately goes to a spot to sit there for 30 whole minutes, banking on someone to come to their extract on a night raid. PvP lobbies tend to be more hectic, and if you can walk away unscathed from a fight, you will be more stacked than you will ever get in any of those PvE lobbies. You won't regret fighting your way back to Speranza, I can tell you that for sure. Many Battle Royale enjoyers, in my opinion, would find a home in these PvP matches. Solo lobbies have a tendency to be more friendly. It is not possible to queue into duos unless you have a partner, and with that in mind, I imagine most are using comms and are working together to overcome any challenge they may face, including stealing your loot. Squad matches are usually just full-on brawls. It is almost always on site when squad matches, so try to stick with your team and coordinate accordingly. But the weapons in this game feel incredible. Pairing any two together just makes you want to go test it on a raider. I've already spoken on the term rat being misused, and earlier I stated that some people take things too far in proximity chat, but that's just my opinion. But the only thing we have to agree on is how soft this community tends to be. There are issues with streamers, plenty of bugs in the game, plenty of issues in the game itself, but no one ever can seem to agree what those issues are. No one can agree what this game needs to improve, and whenever you state your opinion, everyone wants to jump with knives in comment sections or in messages on PlayStation or Xbox. If anyone sees me kill anyone in any sort of way, I get called a rat. I get called the N-word, but it's my problem if I say something about someone being white in response to it. A lot of the PvE players, in my opinion, don't understand that it's a PvE game, and the aggression-based matchmaking isn't a foolproof system. Everyone gets so defensive and angry. The messages I've gotten for just killing someone are absolutely appalling to me. So many people use the word rat, but I think either they're the rats or they genuinely suck at the game. Some people think I should just be announcing myself before I shoot my gun to give opponents a fair fight. I just wonder what world some of these people live in. It's just snowflake behavior, and I just wish we could all chill and enjoy this same game, regardless if we die or not. Talk some shit, call me a slur, I don't care. But don't sit here whining, sending me paragraphs on my TikTok messages or my PlayStation messages about how you think I should play a game. It's a game I bought with my money that I worked for, and the fact that I even feel the need to make this acknowledgement shows me how this community is just so different than other fandoms. Actual snowflakes. Lastly, I wanted to talk about ways this game has impacted me. I'm a very young man, still growing and maturing in many of my own ways. I don't get out much and I really don't talk to a lot of people. When I get uncomfortable, I get very shaky, sweaty, and all the above. And you're probably wondering why I've become boony at the beginning of this video in a therapy session with you. But I'm telling you all this because ArcRaiders encourages me to do many things I never thought I would do before. Proximity chat in ArcRaiders is encouraging you to work with other raiders and communicate with them. While I played with randoms, I met so many kind people who I got in my Discord, who I'd like to consider my friends now. When I go to the store or some, conversation isn't as much of a pain to go through now, and I'm not sure if it's because of Arc, but I can for surely say around the time I started playing Arc, I really felt encouraged to talk to more people, and I felt more comfortable doing so. In the beginning, I had immense gear fear. This led to me literally shaking while I'm sitting in my chair trying not to die in this game. I could feel my heart just pounding during some of the gunfights I would get into, definitely costing me them. Sometimes it still does, but I've gotten more used to it after all the hours I put into the game. The weight of this game, the loudness, the fear of the robots, the backstabbers in the friendly lobbies, you don't know who to trust. It's like a game of Among Us. It genuinely just isn't for the weak. And going through so many fucked up situations with raiders, eventually I just broke, and I started to become the aggressor. Now I yell at people while I'm on my way to kill them, puff up my chest a little bit, talk my shit, scare my opponent, get into their head. If it's the right person, that shit works. And I only know that because I was the one digging my feet into the mud trying not to shit myself while I'm hiding in a bush from these motherfuckers. If you play games and you tend to be more sociable online, I encourage you to play this game, as it may affect you like it did me. And to me, that shows how beautiful this game is, and I can't name a game I've ever played in my entire life that has affected me in such a way. Stories hit and make me cry, are mad, and I get invested in characters, but this is something new, and I feel like I've discovered something no one's ever seen before. But so many of us were going through these same emotions, which is why it maintained the player base it did for so long. And here's hoping it doesn't die out, because it's starting to slow down, and I'm getting a bit burnt out on the game myself, but that's due to my excessive playtime. So that is ArcRaiders and what it is to me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and cheers to you if you made it this far, because I really do appreciate it, as I do put tons of time and effort into these videos. I'm still learning, so let me know what I can do to improve upon this video. Do you like ArcRaiders? Do you have any problems with the game? Let me know below. If you don't have it, but you like to watch it, be sure to like and subscribe as I post shorts, do live streams of the game, play with viewers from time to time, And as you're watching now, I do hella videos, and I'm trying to start creating video essays. Regardless if you do or don't play arcraiders, like and subscribe. I hope I did this game justice, because to me this is like game of the year material. It's peak. Once you get your workbenches, you just start to learn the game and you just get hooked like crack. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.